Alright, hello everybody, so welcome to another Simplicity of Logic. Today's topic, why won't meet equality and respect among friends. So, today's topic came about because, well, I usually meet people that are in my hobby. That means the hobby I like. When did poker a lot, I met poker people all the time. Then I transferred, I dropped out of poker, and then now I'm meeting the board game people all the time, which among general groups, probably the best. Because more or less than 5% of the people I find are not meetable, so we say. The rest are absolutely wonderful. But what happens is always when I transfer to another group and all, I don't meet the rest that often. Doesn't mean I don't like them or whatever, it's just of the following reasons I'm going to give now. The first point is pretty simple. Among the equality and respecting, this is an important point in that commonality. Do we have anything in common? That's pretty important, because then this is my main thing for me personally, but I think it's important too, that when you meet someone, there should be the meeting should be satisfying. There should be a reason to it, and people, I feel, sometimes meet for the sake of meeting, which is pretty tiring, to be honest. I'll give you an example. If I was to meet someone and all they talk about is cars, I have no interest, I'm sorry. I really couldn't care less. The truth is that, and that's an honest fact, I could not care less when you talk about cars. Just as, on the other view, imagine if you met me all the time and all I want to talk about is my hobby, that means board games, and the new designer board games, and this and that, and moral philosophy and all that. Guess what? You have no interest, so we shouldn't meet. Why meet to get annoyed at each other? And an important fact, and I learned about this through real experience. If you are saying now things like, if you ever, or someone you know, right? If you're looking at someone like say something like what I just said and say that, oh, you think you're so smart because you talk about moral philosophy, you think, oh, you don't like cars because you can't afford it, because you don't work hard enough. Guess what? You're asking for the impossible. You're asking me to prove something that, if I were to prove it, I might be a hypocrite. And how can you prove that I'm not sincere about it? So the important point, if you're saying that, you already kind of don't like me, and I'll tell you the truth, probably it's reciprocal, and so we shouldn't meet. Not rocket science. So that's the important point. If you have nothing in common, don't meet, don't force the situation, and there's no hard feelings on it. Like recently, and I'll even be more honest, I deleted, I think at my highest I was at 294 friends on Facebook. Again, Facebook is not important, but I think it's a good microcosm. I deleted now till I have about 122 people there, and it's growing smaller every single time. Some people I don't like, that I just get rid of them because I think they are horrible people. But most of them, I am totally ambivalent, meaning I'm so neutral to it, I couldn't care less. Because the simple fact that if they like me, bonus. If they don't, doesn't really bother me. And just as it's important point again, I bet you it's exactly the same for them. You see, the fact is, you deleted it because we have nothing in common. We're never going to meet. Even we meet, it's going to be at some gathering or whatever, where you're just going to catch up for 5 minutes or whatever, talk for a few minutes and all that, like, oh yeah, And I do believe life is finite, and when you look through your Facebook feeds or whatever, reading all those things that you feel are useless, guess what? That's part of your life. So why add on to it? Like, so for me, just cut it out. Like you have a good steak, cut out the extra fat. So that's the absolute truth of it. It's no hard feelings for me. If someone deletes me, it's like, doesn't really bother me. I would like to know why, but if they don't want to say it, I won't lose any sleep over it, to be absolutely honest. Alright? So commonality, very important. Do you have anything in common? Another example is someone I know. I still regard him as a friend. I think I feel he's sincere enough, but he's extremely racist and very hypocritical in his stuff. He jumps to conclusions all the time, and when you talk to him in a debate, it's not a debate, it's an exercise in listening. He basically listens to your point and just says you're wrong, he's correct. So, you see, I don't hate that guy, but I won't meet him either, because this it's literally when I meet him and I talk to him, I just get angry at him. So why meet someone just to get angry at him? You see, and here's the thing: there's no satisfying end to that meeting, because I would just go home going, I wasted my however many hours I met him. But he's not a bad person. But so I rather just meet him when the common friend is around or whatever. If there's something common to do, again, the commonality. So that's big. That's a big issue. Do you have anything in common? The next points are equality and respect. Equality thing, it's about the balance. It's an absolutely truthful thing that some friendships just have one person in a dominant position for whatever reason, and you have to accept that, and both sides have to accept that fact. Again, I can only use myself as an example, and I don't dare to go further, because if not, some people will say I'm using them as an example and all that. For me, even if you're the richest person in the world, it doesn't matter to me, because I don't ask. Or either let's be fair. Let's go through if that how they're looking at me. Let's say I knew the richest person in the world. All right. They are not going to gain. I'm poor, absolutely poor, and not tall, not dark, not handsome, blah blah blah. All of that. I'm not going to offer them any opportunities in business, not any money, not any women, and all of that stuff. So they gain nothing from me other than me. At the same time, I argue very strongly that I gain nothing from the richest man in the world too, or either the person with the most girls around him or whatever. Why? I don't ask them for anything, and it's not a never thing. I mean, I'm sure I asked someone like, could you loan me $2 before or something, but I did pay it back or whatever. But that's the important point. If I don't ask you and you don't offer anyway, we're equals, meaning that we both gain nothing from it. We just literally have each other's company as the plus point. So that's the equality, and you can't push me around then, for example, demand that I meet you this certain amount of time, I meet you at this timing, because we're equals, and you have to respect that I have certain caveats to meeting and you have certain caveats to meeting. And if we don't both agree, then just don't meet. There's no hard feelings. Like example, I absolutely, and also that's the respect. That comes into the point of respect. Can you respect the idea of what the other person is looking for in the meeting? Alright. Example. Me, I absolutely need pre-planning. I'm not the type that like last minute things, because I like to take a shower, I like to be clean when I go out, I like to prepare, and I here's the thing, I'm poor, so I literally have to plan my public transport everywhere, and I'm not good with roads, so it's very, very important that I plan. Alright, so people who do last minute meetings and all that, just not my thing. And if you want to do a last minute meeting, like someone I know with the board games, if I like it because he would tell me it's last minute and he would say, look, just yes or no, do you want to come? And I just said, and I don't mind that, because you're giving me a choice. You respect that. I already said before, I don't like last minute meetings. There are people who do last minute meetings, and when I say, do you want to come? And I say no, they actually can ask me why. And it's like, why? I mean, and here's the thing, even now you explain, what do they say? They say that thing, like, why again? It's like, just take no for an answer for whatever's sake. So, and here's the thing, also the respect has to go both ways. Example, there's someone I meet more often than not, not that often in his view, but in my view I meet him often enough. It's called Lenny, and that's because we respect each other's views. Example, when we meet, at least I'm poor, I don't want to spend money at all, meaning we meet in the park bench, we bring a bottle of plain water, and we just talk, we catch up. And we have some caveats. Example, if we can catch up and we talk for 20 minutes, there's nothing to talk about anymore, we go home. There are people I know who minute you meet them, it's horrendous, because they make it a 6 hours or more meeting, when after 10 minutes you've already said everything you need to be said, and the rest is just redundant talk about complaining about work and all that. Mind blown of boredom. The next is distance. Like for me, I'm not a poor man, and I say again, distance is a big issue for me. Alright, like for him, one time he needed to go to Sentosa. So what did I do? I would like it, of course, if the person came to me, but in respect of your friend, we met in the middle. So therefore, it was easier for him to travel to where he needed to go later on, and I also, can get back easier. Instead, because there's one direct bus or train home. So you see, by respecting each other, it makes you want to meet the person. Not if, like, imagine if, example, him or me just kept going, no, 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 you come to me, No, sooner or later that's not going to work because there's no respect. It's all about you, and if that's happening a lot, think about it truthfully. Let me tell you, you're going to be in trouble soon enough when your money or whatever runs out. Alright? And that's important facts. So, can you respect the fact that you look at it from that person's perspective? Why he doesn't want to meet? Why is it? Do you have any common views and all? And of course there's politics involved with certain things. For example, there's someone and let's not talk about that. That can involve certain people which I think a few of good people which should not be involved in this. So basically that's the short gist of it. I've more to say, but don't make this too long. In other words, equality, respect, and anything in common. Why is it? That's how you should plan around your meetings with your friends, family, or whoever. Thank you very much. Till next word.